have the right balance, and so far we're not really seeing it, right? And hopefully by having two coaches, I guess they're the only team that has two coaches. I can't imagine any other team having two coaches.
Technically, Liquid kind of does with, well, Blitz is usually their coach. For this event, Blitz isn't here. He's taking a break, but Jabs is the analyst.
Yep.
But it's still pretty, it's a close relationship between the two. So I don't know if you count that as a coach, double coach setup, but that's the only other roster.
Yeah, but they also have like a long history together, like Dogfights and Super. They were on a team for quite some time, a couple of years, and now they're working together as like I guess one would be like an assistant coach maybe. Like he's like trying to give him like stats or help him with the replays and stuff. And Super, because I saw Super sitting down drafting, and so he's probably the main coach, you know, that decides everything.
But these players shouldn't need coaches. They're seasoned veterans.
No, you're wrong, dude.
Why?
Players need coaches so they can focus on the game, Neil.
They've been playing the game for ages. I thought it's the new players, the ones who haven't been shaped yet, that need the coaches.
But there are going to be a lot of problems outside of the game, and who's going to deal with it? The coach.
Okay. Well, you think there are egos on this team. Monet, nothing to say. JT, Baboka, X-Nova.
When
These
I say
are quiet
outside
players.
of game problems, it might not mean ego. It might mean other things, you know, bad habits, you know.
I see. Yeah. Baboka is definitely
Why are you giving me that look?
Well, no, you're trying to throw these players on the bus. I'm sure they're all lovely individuals. They're wonderful people. And let's stick to the Dota.
There we go. And in terms of the Dota, yes, both these teams are coming off of 2-0 losses. And whenever you go intra-regional, then usually things are thrown out the window because they have their own meta.
Yes.
But also, neither of these teams, well, okay, LGD didn't have to qualify because they got invited, but G2.iG did have to qualify. They went through the China qualifiers.
And they went for the Opens as well, right?
They went through their Opens as well.
They
lost
regions.
They lost the first Opens.
Okay, it was the second one.
Yeah.
Yes.
They did the same with Falcons. Falcons also lost in the first Open qualifier, and then they won the second and they qualified.
Yes, they did. Yeah, the Opens in the first Open and China was Team 0 being the main frontrunner. And then in Opens 2, it was IG. And then lo and behold, in closed qualifiers, 0 and IG faced off, G2IG now. And IG got the 3-0.
It's good news, you know. It means that they can problem solve and try to fix whatever problems that they have, you know. I think that's a very important trait. Losing from the start might not be the worst thing, you know, if you can actually help your team figure out what's wrong, and you try to make the fixes, and it will help you in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. And those, you know, the last series that we just had, you know, G2iG playing up against Tundra, sure they lost, but it wasn't as rough as the LGD loss.
Sure.
You know, they were holding on, they were on the verge of maybe making a comeback. It wasn't, you know, there was definitely a lot of stuff that they could take away that were positives despite the losses.
And while we haven't seen too much of LGD, we actually had Purge take these guys under a microscope so we could learn a little bit more about their gameplay.
LGD has for many years been one of the strongest teams in the entire world.
LGD are doing it, Cinderin! And with that victory, PSG LGD is in the grand finals of TI-10.
But they can never seem to make it the whole way at TI. Nonetheless, they're an incredible powerhouse of Chinese Dota and a team to look up to. With a very patient and calculated playstyle, you can never count them out. Let's take a look at what makes them so dangerous to go up against. LGD goes into many games with the plan, be the stronger team late in the game. Their drafting style often boils down to picking heroes that can get them to the late game, while Shiro plays heroes such as Luna, Naga Siren, or Spectre, and heavily focuses on outscaling the enemy team. They're not the strongest team in the world at laning. In fact, they frequently lose or draw lanes in games they later go on to win. Their real strength is in recovering from the laning stage, and with very calculated plays, slowly but surely squeezing a lead out of the enemy team. Because of this, they're not as aggressive as most other teams, even compared to other Chinese teams. And they often have games stretching past 45 minutes or even an hour. Games like this is where LGD really shines. One thing is for certain, when LGD is playing, the game isn't over until the Ancient explodes.
Unfortunately for them, in their Falcons series, their Ancient exploded in 25 minutes in game number 1 and 35 minutes in game number 2. They did not really get a chance to flex their late game potential, which is kind of what their draft was geared towards, especially in game 2. The Spectre, Invoker, and Phoenix, maybe if they were able to breach the 40-minute mark, things would have gotten easier. But Falcons didn't let that happen. Same thing kind of for G2iG. Tundra beat them in game number 1, actually in 45 minutes, so that game went a little bit longer. But then game number 2, Tundra beat G2iG in 30 minutes. Is that just the way that this patch is shaping up to be? Do we know yet? Or is
Yeah, I
this-
mean, sometimes you have this kind of like trends, you know, when the game goes like towards like a slower pace game and everybody's like playing greedy with the Midas, you're trying to scale, and then some team would try to abuse that by having like a fast-paced lineup. Like in the first game of the Tundra.iG lineup, Tundra drafted a partner lone Druid strat, so that probably worked in their favor against the Spectre, even though it should be quite a close game, judging by the score and the game blank. I didn't really watch the game, but just judging by what I see from the stats, probably it was a fairly close game. So I think you tend to see this meta development over across a course of a tournament or over a course of after a patch is released and people are trying to figure out what's going to work best, and you start to see things shifting around.
Has enough changed after TI for you, Owen? Because most people are considering this to be a very gentle patch.
No, I mean, for sure, I would have preferred a bigger change, but it's still exciting to see, obviously, what the teams are doing with you know, the slight changes that there have been, because there's every chance that even the meta that we're going to be seeing in this group stage will still change completely by the time we get to the main event. Because maybe some of them starts to find something that really works for them. Honestly, especially with some of these players popping off as much as they are. I know already in the series we just had, like Amar, right? Turning up, playing something like the Mars. Not a lot of people want to play Mars, but yeah, he might be inspiring other teams to start maybe looking towards that hero again. You know, as these sort of signature hero player combinations that kind of break out despite and regardless of what the meta is balanced towards, you know, can have knock-on effects that cause other teams to have to change what they're playing.
I mean, confidence is definitely an issue for that. You know, not everyone maybe has Amar's confidence to do that, and right now I would say that for these two teams, confidence is probably not at a very good state right now, so they have to try to find something that works for them immediately and try to build on that, you know. So maybe experimenting with a hero that you might not be very good at, or because somebody does well with it and you try to copy it, might not be a very good idea.
It might not be, but it's not to say that teams might not do it, you know, because sometimes, especially if you're losing a lot of games, you try the drastic measures, right? You say, you know what, let's give this hero a try that maybe not be the hero we've been practicing, but hey, we've lost 4-5 games, we've got to change things up.
I just don't know who the meta-defining teams are going to be, because for one thing, we don't have Spirit in this tournament. They were deciding to take a break. And Game and Gladiators, who are the other TI finalists, are not doing that great. They ended up splitting their series today, probably because people have been looking at them for a year at this point. And so all these teams and players who we have not seen for much of the year are starting to get a chance to shine, like ATF, for example. And so maybe this is the passing the baton that things that we didn't even know could be good all year are now finally getting a chance to show.
Yeah, I mean, playing with the same players, playing a long period of time is definitely going to be very exhausting for the whole team, you know, and I feel like in history, we always see that after a season ends, in the beginning of the next season, you always see that new stacks doing well. Those that are hungry, that have a long break, they didn't really get to attend any LAN events. I think apart from Falcons, I think I was quite impressed by Secret as well. Like they have, I mean, not exactly like a new roster, but
they're not superstars though.
Yeah.
And so the fact that this kind of scrappy stack that Puppy put together is looking so good definitely took everyone by surprise during the qualifiers, and they're keeping the momentum going on here. But for us, we're going to be looking at a China versus China showdown, so stick around and we'll be back with game number 1 after the break.
Shorty schläft, wenn die Sonne untergeht. Runden drehen, dich erlebt. Ich will nicht mehr gerade sehen, der Verstand ist lahmgelegt. Im Coupé hinten links. Ich schreibe und ich trink. Mit den Brüdern und wir chillen. Heute Abend ohne Sinn. Sie will, dass ich sing. Doch ich mach mir noch einen Drink. Ich brauch nur die Klick. Und sie weiß, dass ich
Let's get the final series of the day underway here, ESL 1 Kuala Lumpur 2023, where you guys are in for a real treat. OD Pixel draft analysis.
Hell.
How often does this happen?
Here we go.
Meepo band. Oh,
There
and
we
tell
go.
me about the Meepo
I
band.
would have called that.
I knew you would have.
Yeah, winter. Tell me about the Meepo band.
Nice.
What the?
I mean, I think JT plays Meepo. I mean,
Okay,
this
offline
must be
Meepo?
this must be something that happened in a scrim. You
Yeah.
know. Meepo's definitely not a hero that I would put on my radar right away in the first phase ban. And if you're talking about cheese heroes, usually teams are looking at Huskar a lot more nowadays. Huskar, Lone Druid, not Meepo. Because the nerf was pretty huge before when they changed the Rod of Atos build. And right now, he doesn't feel like he has a good way of itemizing on the hero.
Yeah, they nerfed his Manta being able to break Mega Meepo as well.
Do you like that IG banned out the G2.iG banned out the Phoenix? I mean, what last 2 games, right? LGD have been opening with it. You've not felt that it's been that strong. Do you need to ban it?
Yeah, but this is like different, you know, because it's a inter-regional matchup, and the teams are very well versed of what each other is capable of, what secret threats that we might not be aware of, and what they are actually really comfortable with. So normally in this type of games, the bans are going to be a little bit different from the meta and in general. So I can't really say that I'm that surprised. But Slada being let through is something that I feel like this hero is very, very troublesome to deal with in general. I feel like this hero, when you let this hero loose, you have to have supports that ideally deal with him. And Jakiro is kind of decent.
Yeah.
You have the slow attack speed slow in the lane for him. In the team fights, you are kind of annoying for the Slada. You don't allow him to just run in because you have the ice path, and your slow is also definitely useful. Your macro pyre, and I kind of see the reasoning behind this.
I mean, there's this sort of opening, this sort of setup. It should give LGD a better chance to get Shiro a decent lane setup right. You know what you're with, you know what you're against. Because those last 2 games, I think one of the reasons why LGD did struggle as much was just because how badly Shiro kind of got destroyed in the laning stage.
Yep. And it's good to see them putting a lot more prioritization onto the laning phase, because the current 2 picks are definitely a much stronger laners. Muerta, be it a carry, be it a support, is going to be very good in the lane. And I think Muerta as a carry here would probably be a reasonable option to deal with the Slada's physical damage. And yeah, we'll see what G2.iG decides to do, because I think Slada is still a flex hero. You can put him middle, you can put him on the offlane depending on the matchup, and this hero is very reliant on the laning phase going well for him. So they do have like a Grimstroke, a hero that pairs really well with what Slada wants to do in the game with the Inkswell and obviously the double amplified damage. That's very nice for him. And you just need like somebody to like constantly follow you in the game, so you can run around and kill people.
Based off of what today has shown, it seems like core Moritz is a little bit more popular than support.
Yeah, the support Muerta kind of got nerfed pretty hard when they
Nerf the
slow. Yeah, the slow on the calling. But call kind of still is relatively similar, I would say, your timings and everything. And G2 is going to play a faster pace early game, I would say, when you always go for this kind of MP picks. I think that it's mostly for your cores that really need help in the early game. At least that's for me, you know, when I pick MP, I always try to help either the offlaner. I have a very snowbally offlaner, like something like a Slada, that I need to ensure that he gets a good game. So I'm going to be looking at his lane all the time if I can actually get kills for him.
I mean, because that is the thing. I feel with the openings from both of these lineups, if it does indeed end up being a carry Muerta, it could get punished hard, right?
Yeah.
You sort of see the diving potential of the Slada Grim backed up by Nature's Prophet. they could really, really crush the position 1 Muerta early game.
You have to start with a quelling bait for sure on the
Mhm.
Muerta to prevent that from happening, but it can still be very annoying, TPing down with that bonus damage and throwing a blood grenade at you, and with the Slada running at you.
Yeah, you're going to just destroy this Muerta.
Yeah, you have to just be prepared. I think in a support, as a support in this type of scenario, in this type of lane, you have to always be prepared to sacrifice yourself to save the carry.
I mean, they're going to commit for it. You know, with the reveal here of the SD as the secondary support, and then the Centaur, so the offlane duo there. They feel confident to continue to try the carry Muerta, but as I say, G2.iG,
So
they're geared up to punish it.
yeah, you're telling me this is the 3rd game in a row now where Shiro's gonna hate his life.
I mean, I think it's okay.
Not as much as
not
last.
as much
Last
as before.
series he
Okay,
was
fine.
against ATF.
And,
You know, it doesn't get rougher than that.
And he has a
you know, having to lane.
Jakiro instead of a Phoenix. Jakiro is
That's true.
a
Yeah.
lot stronger than
That's true.
Phoenix in the laning
Yeah.
phase.
He's going to be happy with that one at least.
Yeah, but
Grim Slardar is a terrifying line.
Yeah,
But it is.
but look,
And with the
look,
Nature's
look at
Prophet
the
TPing in as well.
look at the overall composition. You know, their supports are very capable of dealing with the Slada and the Grim. You have
Sure.
this Dispel from the Shadow Demon, which is really good against the Inkswell and really good against Slada in general.
Sure.
I think they have very good tools, and you have the Stampede to get away. I think overall they are in a much better position here.
Yeah, maybe they themselves, with that sort of Centaur ST duo can put an equal amount of pressure onto G2.iG's carry in the laning stage.
And if talking about like the carry Muerta, like if you want to counter him with a carry to carry matchup, you always talk about like Spectre as a counter. But right now, because you have Slada doesn't really have a lot of synergy with the Spectre in terms of like the physical damage. So generally, when you have Slada, you're thinking about like either a TA carry or a Phantom Assassin. But those heroes are not in general very good against Muerta.
And I would imagine they'll go with the Morphing.
Yeah, I mean
here
Morphing's nice too, because you need like a mixed damage hero. Like we've seen Luna Dark Willow carries against Muerta because you can do damage during his ultimate, and Morphing's kind of like similar in that way. You can always throw your spell, throw your nuke.
Sure, but at the same time, if Muerta pops the ult and is able to survive, right, those magical hits are pretty decent against a Morph who relies on his high armor.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly true as well. And if you have like a Muerta playing into like a heavy magic lineup, I would say that you have also like an option to try to get one of your teammates to buy a pipe for you to protect you in the team fight.
Yep.
I think this is something that's really underrated about like games where the carries try to. I don't know if it's underrated, but when the carry tries to delay his BKB a lot, I feel like the offlaner should try to get a pipe to elevate the
But
pressure.
do you feel alright buying a pipe on Slada? You don't really want to
I
do
know,
that,
I
right?
mean on the center, I mean. For
So
the
for
Muerta.
LGD to protect
Yeah,
Muerta.
obviously for the
Okay, yeah,
Slada,
sure.
you're not going to be wanting to
No.
buy a pipe. You're going to get like a Axe, you're going to get Blink, or some games you can get an Echo Saber. Slada is more like a greedier hero.
Oh, for
So
sure.
you're playing
Absolutely.
for your own game.
And yet again, the final phase is being reserved for the mid laners. Puck and Pango and Kanka banned out.
I mean, right now, so what's available? There's still a Lina, which could be nice with the double, the Soulbind, the double Laguna. That could be good. Like, she seems to be the, I would say like the kind of the most stable mid laner when you don't see your lane because she doesn't lose her lane. But maybe I'm wrong now because she loses her lane against Dragon Knight apparently.
Yes, that was one example of it. But she gets banned out anyway. And yeah, DK's still in the pool.
Yeah, I mean, Lina is really good against the Morphling. So that means it's a mid Slada. Alright, off lane Lycan. Oh, the Grimstroke with Lycan lane. Oh, the Inkswell on the Wolves. Oh my god. I've been in that lane. It is not fun. So they have this like timing with the summons from the Wolves, and the Nature's Prophet is going to be there to speed up the game. So G2.iG is looking to play a very, very fast-paced game around the early rotations and the Wolf taking your towers. Maybe he's going to get like an early helm, pressure the map, and that's going to allow the Slada to just like to play all these constant brawls, you know, because when you're mid Slada, you always want a game that gives you a lot of fight. You want to join the fight all the time. You don't want to be like just sitting down and trading farm. So this is the kind of setup where I feel like the Slada is going to be very, very happy of.
Yeah, but you don't even know what he's laning into.
I feel like he probably doesn't care, but he should. Maybe he thinks that because of the MP in the game, MP can also help him. I think the MP should prioritize helping the Slada even though he's not offlane. And you make sure that the Slada gets a good start.
Are there any mids that can abuse the Slardar?
Queen of Pain. I guess Queen of Pain. It's good against all melee heroes. Can kind of slow.
What would be hard to play though? This game, right? You're sort of getting caught out. You know, Grim's incredibly annoying. You get the Phantoms and Soulbind on them. They're just going to go with the Wind Ranger.
This hero is decent against the Slada, but at the same time, Wind Ranger is a very greedy hero. Like we talked about in the previous segment about how Emo is very greedy as a core, and I feel like if he's going to be very, very greedy this game, the Muerta is going to definitely suffer. And if the Centaur does not have a good start, he's not going to be able to make enough space for everybody to farm. So it's like the same game like the previous game where New has to do a lot of work.
I mean, LGD, they suffered a couple of quick losses just now in the series that we had from them. I feel with the way that this draft's going, it could be another quick one for them. I mean, G2.iG, they have really geared up to shut them down early and just make sure that, unfortunately for Shiro, he just doesn't get to play his game again.
Was the Lycan over-complicating things, though? Because I feel like it was
Not
already...
really, though. I feel like the opponent's draft doesn't really change what they need. You know, I feel like they have a different vision, like especially Emo. When it comes to his hero, he always has a different vision with what the captain wants or whoever is planning the draft. Obviously, it's probably Xiao It.
Yep.
So he needs to be able to see that, you know, and probably today it's difficult for him to see it, but maybe after today's series, they have to go back and have a talk about it, you know. So far right now, I don't see the connection.
Well, it's a 3-day group stage, so you need to figure out things quite quickly. But let's get this, I guess, mostly Malaysian lineup with G2.iG debuted on the mainstream with our casters. It's MLP and John X Fire.
My wounds run red with first blood.
bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
My way, leading so soldier's fortune. Don't get wet.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
For my coffers.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Shaman has fallen to the sea. Dire are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Haste the seeds of fortune.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
You've gone green, I see.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
The seeds of fortune.
Thank you very much, Mike and John. As LGD are having a bad day at the office. And I know that we don't have Winter fully unleashed because you held your tongue, Winter. Why, as soon as we took off our headsets, you said what was really on your mind regarding LGD. And it's kind of the things that you would have said on the CDPC. But now you think, oh, you know, Xiao8 is the coach, I should show respect to everything. But I know what's really going through your head.
What's really going on in my head is the coach can't control the mid laner. He's not on his leash right now.
Okay.
He has to drag him back, pull him back. You're not going that Wind Ranger route. You're not going that Exalt Invoker route. Come back, play for the team. And he has to figure out fast how to do that.
He keeps giving him last pick, though, which seems to be the trend for all the teams. I'm seeing mid be the last phase for nearly every game I think we've watched. And so it's a common trend, but we blame the first pick Phoenix. We blamed Emo's Invoker. We're now blaming the Wind Ranger. How many holes are in this LGD lineup, Owen? What's going on?
I mean, whatever the holes are, I think the one that they've got to try and plug the most is just making sure that Shiro can have a good game.
Yes.
I think once again, it's not really on Shiro's. Well, maybe his performance isn't amazing, but I think he's just not set up for success.
Definitely.
And part of that is indeed, as sort of Winter's touching upon, the fact that maybe Emo's getting a bit too many options on what he wants to play in that mid lane. Maybe they've got to be a bit more direct and just get him on a hero that's going to make the game overall a little bit easier for his carry to play.
Yeah, I mean, you just, at some point, you have to understand the mid role is no longer the same. Right now, your main job is to play for the side lane. You have to help your team as a mid. It's no longer the win condition hero. Sure, you might have some exceptions, like some Huskar games where you can just snowball and win the game on your own. But in general, you have to be playing for your teammates. You have to be playing for the side lanes because the off laner and the carrier are essentially more important than you know.
He's not playing greedy heroes. Okay, well, I suppose
Kinda.
He's
Invoker,
playing heroes
Ranger.
that the heroes are able to do things. He's just playing them in a very greedy way. Like Invoker could have gone Quas Lex,
okay,
and
fine.
he could have gone around. Wind Ranger could roam more and not have to farm all the time.
I mean, maybe that's what he was telling Xiao8 in the draft. He's like, yes, I'll go Quas Wex, and then as soon as he's out the room,
I'll rotate all the time.
Exhort time.
Sucker.
He's telling me I don't trust my carry. That's what I'm getting, with the vibe. I'm trying to carry the game on my own, and that's definitely not working out for them. And they have to try to figure things out. Like when it comes to the mid laner, I can tell you I've experienced that it can be difficult communicating such problems with the mid laner because the mid laner, he has a different kind of game. He's on his own on an island. He looks at the game from a perspective where the hero itself can do a lot against the enemy lineup, but sometimes they don't really prioritize whether our own lineup synergizes well with the last pick that you're picking, and that can cause problems for the team. And right now I feel like this kind of feels like the problem. He's thinking more on his own side, his own game. His hero works against the enemy lineup, but he doesn't think of his own team's lineup.
And the sacrifice does not work out. Meanwhile, though, maybe we can heap some praise onto G2.iG as they pick up their first win, I suppose, as a brand. Anything stick out to you, Owen, or was it? Let's not say that LGD just gave it to them. What did G2.iG do that exceeded expectations?
There's a lot of little stuff, right? JT, some excellent micro throughout the game with his walls from sort of the early first kill that the team got to sort of those later stages where he's getting this vision behind towers, spotting out all these smoke moves that LGD's trying to make to get back in the game. I think the fact that they've shown they've got the flexibility to have nothing to say, play this mid Slardar, hero that I think we are going to see continue to sort of rise up in favorability. Maybe not necessarily in the mid lane, more so in the off lane as most teams have been playing it. But this mid Slardar was pretty fantastic. Great answer to what Emo tried to do against him. Picked into it as well, this Wind Ranger, in response to Slardar, but didn't really do anything close to what Nothing to Say was in terms of impact. And the Monet Morphling, wasn't the last pick, but nothing was done to deal with it. He ends the game not dying at all. Literal flawless performance from him on the carry.
Yeah, the main difference is you could see their draft coming together. You see all these little things like Owen mentioned, the Nature's Prophet playing around the Slardar rotations. They have the Inkswell on the wolves, which was really, really annoying for the opponent to deal with. Set up a lot of kills for them. There are all these little things that allowed Monet and the Morphing to be like, you can't touch him,
Yep.
There's just too much space for him to farm.
Yeah, and specifically, Owen, you mentioned Nothing to Say, who is part of our Acer Predator head-to-head, as we take a look at his numbers versus Emo, who has been exceeded in every single department.
Yeah, look at the assist department.
15
Yeah.
from a mid Slardar.
Yeah, pretty wild. The teams have got to look out for this, coming out in future matchups. And I don't think we're going to see any other team try and answer nothing to say is mid Slardar with a Wind Ranger pick. That's just not going to happen again.
Hopefully.
Who knows? Yeah, we'll see what happens in game 2. Maybe Emo's like, I got it this time. But it didn't work out this game.
Maybe he'll try a Dragon Knight next time.
Yeah, Dragon Knight. I honestly probably would have done a bit better in the matchup, I reckon, DK.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be a hero that teams used to pick against Slardar, high armor, and you kind of have the stun to kind of stop the Slardar from running in and causing a lot of problems. But right now, I feel like it's not just one singular pick, it's the vision. I keep talking about this, but that's what I'm feeling right now when I look at the draft sequence, how they are banning the heroes and how they are prioritizing the cores. I just feel like there's too much prioritization on the mid hero. Like he gets too much priority in the draft, and he's not really able to convert it into a win for his team. And that's also because of not just his own play, but it's just the general meta where the mid laners are just not supposed to farm that much.
So you're still content with the side lanes? Like if we ran back this same draft where Muerta carry early on.
Yeah, for sure. If Emo's on a more active early hero,
he can help Muerta, like Owen said.
They would have a much better chance.
He's not getting help, enough help.
No.
Neil came down and helped. Yeah, sure, Neil got a free lane. He really was very fat on the centaur, but it's not enough. We see the Slardar working with his team. He was working with the Lycan Wolves, the Inkswell.
Yeah.
There's nothing for the Wind Ranger to work with because Wind Ranger wants to hit creeps and Shiro wants to hit creeps. Neil is like fat, he has a dagger, sure, but he can't do everything on his own.
Which is a shame because also I thought the supports would be able to repair the damage enough, because you mentioned how good Jakiro is versus Slardar, how good the Shadow Demon is versus Slardar, that part of me was on board with the fact of Emo going greedy because I'm like, okay, it's okay, the supports are going to protect Shiro enough. That it's not proving to be the case, no matter what.
No, pretty much that whole early game, right? Shiro kind of, I think, pretty much the same situation as in those first 2 games we saw from them early against Falcons. He's just on the bottom of the net worth out for the cause. And that's not what you want to see from your carry from like the opening 20 minutes of a game. If that's the case, you're almost certainly guaranteed to lose.
Some things to think about for sure for Shao 8 and for G2.iG. Congratulations on their very first win. How exciting for them. Maybe they can turn it into a 2-0. We'll have to find out after the break. It's time for the final game of the day here on day number 1. Hey, it's Jack! I love Jack! And he's probably very happy because his team just won game number 1 against LGD. And I also have some other developments for you. Owen, Falcons versus Liquid.
Yes.
Which one would you take for game number 1?
Liquid. Wait, no, actually, we didn't see the end of it. It looked close when we were watching a little bit of it. I would have said that game probably played on towards Liquid winning.
Falcons take game number 1.
That must have been a good match.
The
44 minutes.
The Mars has done it again.
Mars has done it again.
Oh, that's 3 times now.
That's 3 times. He's run it every single time.
Maybe you got to start banning it.
I think you do. Liquid had banned out the Razor, the Slardar, and the Nature's Prophet, and the Chen. So I'm telling you, his hero pool's just the right size. Meanwhile, the Storm series, the ESL _ Dota 2 _ Storm, Tundra versus 9 Pandas. Winter, who you got?
Tundra?
Okay. Owen?
I feel because you've hyped it up and asked us in a fashion, it's actually going to be 9 Pandas taking it. But so I will go 9 Pandas.
Tundra!
Oh, damn.
Take game
I
number 1.
myself.
And they smashed them. 24-minute GG.
And that's impressive. That's good news for 9 Pandas, right? They need it because the bottom of this group could, already from these day 1 performances.
Wait, what? No.
What?
I said Tundra won.
Yeah, so I'm saying.
You said good news for 9 Pandas?
I'm confused.
Oh, wait, you said Tundra won. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's terrible news for 9 Pandas.
Yeah.
No, that's very bad news for 9 Pandas, right? They've lost 3 games now.
They have lost 3 games now.
That is not good news.
But they're in good company with LGD, who has also lost 3 games.
Oh.
Drink your coffee, Owen. Drink your coffee. You know.
Yeah, this is appearing to be a very top-heavy group. Group A that we had earlier today was pretty well-rounded, a bunch of 1-1 splits. And for this one, all the favorites seem to be winning. Although, I guess for G2.iG versus LGD, both these teams had lost the previous series. But right now, it's looking like G2.iG are indeed the favorites, because LGD are just lost right now. Or specifically, they just don't know what to do with Emo.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, you know. Tonight, the coach is going to have a lot of work to do when he goes back.
That's true. I've seen at least, it looks like for LGD that the spirits are being kept high.
Yeah,
right, we're getting
they are
some
smiling
smiles
a
on their
lot,
faces. They know that at the end of the day, if you lose the first 3 games and then win every other single game, then it doesn't matter. Look at them. They know. They're like, well, we lost 3 games, but that doesn't matter. We're going to win the rest of these group stage
I'm asking them why you smile. Why are you smiling if you are 0-3 right now? And they're going to start off this game number 2, banning out Slardar and Spirit Breaker. G2.iG, they take out the Dazzle, the Phoenix, and the Chen.
Just like the same bans from the previous game. Nothing too surprising.
Well, just the Slardar.
What about the Meepo ban?
Oh, yeah, Meepo.
Yeah, just the Meepo.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
I'm not going to first pick them.
Yeah, previous bans, G2.iG took out the Dazzle, the Phoenix, and the Chen, and LGD took out the Magnus, Spirit Breaker, Meepo, and Primal Beast.
I mean, I feel like they don't really have to put so much pressure on themselves while worrying about what the opponents are going to pick, you know. Like, for LGD, they have to try to find a solution for this emo. Try to figure out like a simple strategy that can allow everybody to play on the same page.
Absolutely. I think try and go down that Spectre route once again. I know they've tried it
Wraith
once
King
earlier.
is easier.
Wraith King. You want to see Wraith King?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a terrible
Click
hero, but they're surely better right now.
Stun, kill, support.
Yeah, but Spectre, press R, win game. I mean, it's less steps here towards the victory. You know?
But Spectre's gonna lose your lane, and you have to wait for Emo to gank for you. But Wraith King, you can gank for Emo,
We do need to see indeed Emo on a hero that kind of enables the Spectre better, but I think
at this point, it's probably better for them to enable Emo. I think Shiro's like, I'm done playing my own game, I have to help this guy.
Well, LGD didn't get a chance to ban out the Primal this time, and G2.iG pick it up. And now they're still going back to banning out the Meepo. Dude, these scrims between these two teams.
They must have had something wild.
That must be hype.
You reckon it was probably JT playing it? Nothing.
Yeah.
They don't play it in none of the positions.
NTS doesn't play it.
No.
JT plays it. I mean, I just can't wait to see. You know, someone lets it through one game, and I wonder in what kind of circumstances is the hero going to be picked, and if they pick Meepo, is JT going to take the hero to the mid lane, and nothing to say has to play some off lane hero.
Tomorrow, G2.iG's first matchup is going to be against Liquid.
Oh.
And then their second matchup is going to be against Falcons.
Wow, tough day.
Tough day for them.
Yeah. Or you can look at it as a new challenge, you know, to see how far they can go.
Sure, they're leveling up.
Yeah. I think a lot of the newer teams that are building new rosters together, a lot of it has to do with like the confidence. You know, when you come together and how do you build up that momentum, even when you're losing and even when you're playing against the strong teams. Do you feel like you're learning and you're growing throughout the group stage? I think that would be more important than the actual results of it. I mean, obviously, you still want to make sure you qualify to the playoffs, but learning would be, at least for me, my top priority in these kind of matchups. They have to try to figure out more about themselves.
And if we see Emo move around, then that means that some lessons have been learned.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And after the game was over in the previous series, I saw the director looking at him, you know, saying some words to him. They were both really jolly and, you know, it looked positive, you know. So hopefully we see some changes.
Okay.
It's a good sign.
G2.iG, they pick up a Nature's Prophet, and Slardar has been taken out of the pool by LGD, so who is this Grimstroke going to be laning with this time?
Rave King. Alright, there's Rave King. There is, we saw the Lycan. I think we saw PA earlier today when Secret paired it with the Grim. I think the main idea to take away from the Grimstroke is whenever you draft this hero, you have to make sure that there are a lot of ways to utilize the Inkswell.
Yeah.
You don't want to just be picking the hero without having suitable candidates to pair him up with. And for the G2.iG lineup, it's very similar to the previous game when they had the Slada. I think the Primal is kind of the replacement hero for that, and Nature's Prophet is just going to connect to the Primal Beast whenever he finds a hero, whenever he's moving on the map. So it's again going to be a very fast-paced lineup. Tiny, yeah?
Oh, we're seeing one of the spirits, a Storm Spirit coming in.
Emo wants to rotate.
Finally.
Sounds good, even though this is not a meta hero, but
No, it really
Calm
isn't.
down, Winter. Give him the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, he's gonna.
And they didn't last phase it also.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Actually, yeah,
That's a good
prioritize
sign.
Shira,
Yeah.
he's happier.
Shira's like, nice. Give me the fist pump, you know.
Finally, he is taking one for the team, but yes, it's on a hero that we do not see very often. And yeah, it's also, because it's not last phase, that means there is a lot of potential for it to get countered now.
Lina's probably the one that would give him the hardest time in the lane.
Oh, wait, so where are we putting this Primal Beast, though?
We'll just put him off lane. I think that
Okay.
could work.
Yeah, I think
Like if you can counter the Storm lane that hard, and you think about the way the game's going to be played, you have a Nature's Prophet, so if you can get any small advantage from the first couple of levels, it's going to open a lot of room for MP to just TP in and gank the Storm, you know. And Storm doesn't really like to buy a Quelling Blade in the early game. He might have to, you know, that affect his game. If he doesn't really get a good enough start before he gets level 6, he dies like once, twice, you know, or maybe more. It could be really difficult for them. I think the Tiny is going to have to help the Storm out. He has to make sure that this MP doesn't ruin the Storm's game.
Then how about something like a Puck for G2.iG also? Because I feel like you said Lina, but Lina could get abused by a Tiny rotation. Puck may be a little bit more survivable.
Yeah, I'm more thinking towards the lane, you know, to pressure me in the lane. Okay, Silencer is a good way of like dealing with a Storm in the team fights.
Okay. And do you like that? But this is going to be what the mid shaker.
Yeah, I guess so. Unless something is gonna be like a core here, like a Nature's. Yeah, I guess it's gonna be a mid shaker.
Yeah, I think so, right, for NTS.
Yeah, because the
played
Storm,
it early, right?
yeah, because the Storm wants to go near in the creeps to get a Remnant to get last hits. That's gonna give a lot of opportunities for the shaker to get an Enchant Totem. And a right click off, so this is going to be like a lane that might open up a lot of opportunities for MP to TP and a gang, and Silencer obviously is going to be good to counteract the Storm in the team fights. Good with the Primal. Primal runs in, gets a jump on someone, you pop global, there's nothing you can do. Right, I like this a lot more from LGD, so they are pairing the Storm up with a very active carry. A carry that can allow them to play a very fast pace. Again, another hero that can abuse the Inkswell, so that's great.
Sure, but is CK still good after the nerfs?
He's decent. I think he's decent. He's not as broken as before, you know. He was bought
That's true, he was
impossible
very
to play
busted.
against before.
Yeah.
But now he's kind of like, he's still useful. At least for me, in my opinion. I think the hero still has his place in the game. You just have to tailor a draft around it. You need to have a secondary carry, because CK can't do it alone right now. You need a mid or off laner that can actually help you carry the game. And I think Storm definitely fits that profile.
Also, if he gets the Scepter, counters out Global Silence.
That's true.
Global Dispel.
So you mentor yourself and you cast.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it takes it all off, you know.
So much effort for R button, yeah.
And then
Listen.
and then Shaker jumps in with Echo, and then Shaker's like, what? No, you just
Free
counted
illusions.
yourself. Yeah. I don't know. I think that already we're going to see LGD with a bit of a better shot in the lanes, but I'm skeptical if CK is going to be able to carry a game here.
Don't worry, he'll have friends.
I mean, G2.iG, they're going to get the response pick here with their final pickup for Monet, so I think it's going to be better for Shiro than his other 3 games so far
It
today.
better be, dude.
But I don't think it's going to.
The bar is
gonna
set
go his
very
way.
low for what better is.
I mean,
though.
yeah.
If he completes one item before 10 minutes, that means that he's doing better.
I mean, if they can pick a jungle hero, I think it would be like a zoo hero. Sorry, not jungle hero, zoo hero. The bit summons. Silencer is very bad at dealing with all those like summons, like Lycan, and you can take a page out of like G2's
Sure.
book.
But they kind of
with
got
the
that covered
Inkster.
right because they've got a Shaker and a Primal who are good at dealing
Yeah, but
with
that's like
summons.
the later portion of the game, you know. So they're going to go back with the Brew, which is something Neil really likes to play. Very strong team fight, and you kind of want to pick like a neutral offlane hero when you don't see your matchup. And Brewmaster is like a neutral hero. He doesn't really care about like the matchups as much as some other heroes. And in Brown's up, they'll line up with team fight because CK and Storm, they don't really provide you as much as team fight. It's more about pick off, and Brew, I feel like gives them everything right now.
And if Monet sees a double melee offlane with the Tiny and the Brewmaster, he wants to play Morphling.
Yeah.
But then again, he probably always wants to play Morphling because he just really loves Morphling.
They're gonna have to like get Vessel. Like who's gonna get? Okay, I guess Brew is probably gonna get the Vessel for the Morphling, because the Morphling is gonna get like pretty much a lot of space to farm in this double melee lane.
Yeah, he's a silencer support also.
Yeah, they're going to get easy curses onto the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Very
TP in
annoying.
from the Nature's Prophet. Suddenly there's 3 versus 2. They could be picking up kills quite early in the safe lane for G2.iG.
Yeah, but if they, on the other hand, could actually survive the early game, don't take too much casualties, get their levels, they can start to rotate around with the Storm and Tiny, get kills left and right, and the CK gets active. I could see the game also going really well for them. You know, we might see finally a first win, you know, from LGD.
Give me a stat line on Emo. How many assists do you want to see on him before, let's say, 10 minutes?
At least 4.
4 assists in 10
Yeah.
minutes. Okay.
You have
Or kills, I suppose.
yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
You have 3 runes, you get runes, you rotate to the side lanes, 3 to 4.
Okay. I like that to be on the lookout for. Owen, anything that you're going to be on the lookout for in this game number 2?
Whether or not Monet's actually going to die. Because I think this could be a series where he may play Morphling twice and not die in either of the games. I want to see LGD do that. I think they are going to do better, but as you said, the bar is already kind of low from them today. So what that means is probably still a loss. I don't know if CK and Storm are the heroes you want to be picking in this meta right now. It seems a little kind of a patch or so ago, and then Storm maybe a couple
at least they're
patches ago.
changing things up.
They are.
That's
That
true.
is true. They changed sort of the draft order. It's a different approach. It's a better approach, but maybe not a good enough one to beat G2.iG.
Well, let's see if it's at least a step in the right direction as we get ready for game number 2 with our casters. It's MLP and John.
Thirty seconds to battle. battle begins.
This time. You almost had that. No goal for you.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Coin for me.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Roast me. How quickly chaos spreads.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Under attack. Bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
See the forest.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Invisibility.
Dire's top tower is under attack. under attack.
Yes.
Tiny stroke in my masterpiece.
Where's the party?
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Haste!
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
The tree.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The seeds of fortune.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
Here I am.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
My life fade from memory.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yes.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Let the fun begin.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You almost had that.
Dire are scanning. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Invisibility.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's mid
Leaving so soon.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
That's how the flow of the show works, because we're here to analyze this result with G2.iG taking it 2-0 over LGD and leaving